Hey guys, Sarah here from Resilience RX, and tonight we're going to talk about your shoulder and what to do after you've injured it. So lifting overhead or pressing overhead in CrossFit or just lifting and working out in general, a typical injury that I see a lot is all of a sudden people did something and now it hurts to push things overhead. So when that happens, the first thing you're going to want to do is take a little bit of time off, especially if it's very severe or the pain is very high. So give it a rest, give it 24 hours. Ice is better than heat, at least initially, to try to get some of the discomfort down, Advil, ibuprofen, all that jazz. But after that, you're going to want to start loading it. You're going to want to start moving it because exercise is medicine, and the more you move it, the better it's going to be, as long as you follow certain guidelines. And those guidelines I typically give people are you shouldn't have more than mild discomfort while you're doing something, immediately after you do something, or 24 hours after. So you kind of know the feeling, you did something, you're like, oh, I feel fine. You wake up the next morning, you're like, I do not feel fine. So that is too much discomfort or too much load because you have too much discomfort. Mild discomfort, you're in the green light, you're good to go. Moderate discomfort, kind of that medium amount of pain range, that's kind of like a caution light. You didn't do anything bad, you didn't damage anything, but continuing to push at that intensity may not be in your best interest. And then again, anything over that is going to be too much discomfort. So now that you want to do something, you want to keep lifting, right? So how do you keep lifting? The number one way I usually scale athletes is I say, try to go from a barbell to a dumbbell. You can always do absolutely no weight. So that is a possibility, but if you want to do some weight, scaling from that barbell to that dumbbell is a good idea because it allows you to manipulate the weight in different ways than you can with a barbell. So I'm going to grab a dumbbell real quick. So say this is a barbell. I have to have it right in front of my face, right? And I'm pushing up like this. Sometimes this direction of pushing is uncomfortable, but if you alter your hand like this and then push up, or you alter your hand like this, kind of on a little bit of an angle and push up, that's a lot more comfortable, and you can actually do a fair bit of weight without pain that way. The other reason I tell people to use a dumbbell is because if you're okay with asymmetrically loading things, you can choose a heavier dumbbell for your uninjured shoulder and a lighter dumbbell for your injured shoulder, but still be able to do something. So keeping in line with the pain with overhead pressing, a lot of people have the question, well, what's something I can do to get me closer to where I want to be? Because ultimately you want to get back to lifting overhead with a barbell right in front of you or doing whatever sort of bench press type thing that you enjoy doing. So a way to scale that press is to do a landmine press. And if you're not familiar with a landmine press, you want to take a barbell. You don't actually need a specific landmine thing. It's like a circle with a little thing in it that you can stick a barbell in. You don't need one of those. You really just need a corner or like a kind of a crevice you can put the end of the barbell in. And it'll look like this. So you'll take a barbell, you'll take the end of it, and you'll kind of wedge it in. And I got a little crevice right there, so it works perfect. You'll take your other hand and you'll put it here. So this is a nice, easy kind of press that's not directly overhead, but it's on an angle. So I'm pressing in a comfortable range because usually on an angle is easier and less painful than directly overhead. You can make this harder by dropping down to a knee and doing the same thing here and pushing up. And if this is easy, but pushing directly overhead is still painful, you can take this end and put some weight plates on this end, hold here, and still push up. And one of the great things about this landmine press is that it allows you to find the angle that's the most comfortable for pressing overhead. So sometimes pressing across your body is more uncomfortable. Pressing in front isn't so great, but it's not so bad, but pressing a little bit out to the side feels really good. So doing a landmine press allows you to kind of manipulate that bar while still getting the stimulus of pushing overhead. So the last thing I want to address in terms of shoulder injuries is how long does it take to get better? And the main thing here is if you take a break initially, you start to slowly load, within a week you should start to feel some sort of improvement. I'm not saying you're going to be 100%. Injury recovery varies a lot from person to person. But by the time a week goes by, you should feel some improvement. And if you don't, that's the time when you should message me and be like, hey, I have a question. I've been doing this, but it's not getting better. What do I do? And sometimes the answer is you just need a little bit more time. And if that's the answer, I'll tell you that. And if you need more help, I'll tell you that as well. Not everyone needs more help. Some people just need time. So hope you guys have a wonderful night, and thanks for tuning in.